Right. It's interesting. It's always interesting. I used to do this with parent night to see who was sitting in the corner. I was going to watch the ones in the back of the room. I didn't realize how small that would be. I apologize. There's going to be a lot of writing on these slides, so you know, our hope is to be able to post this. If you don't catch anything right away, you can also stop and ask me questions afterwards. I'll certainly help you out there. If you did not hear it, my name is Jimmy Schroer. I'm the assistant principal here. I have been here for a long time. This is my first year. But I've been in other roles within our district. I've been in Boone County for a long time. Really awesome that I'm here. My son currently is districted to go here when he eventually arrives. So all the Longhorn people here, all the Long Branch people, that's where my son is now. So I definitely have ties to this place and to our community. I love Boone County schools. I hope you feel the same way. And we'll certainly try to take care of your kids when they come to our doors next year. If you have any questions, we're going to try to answer as many as we can through this little presentation here. But if you do have any, if you want to wait and save them unless they're really pressing till the end, I'm more than willing to stick around and answer any of your questions that you have. But mostly what we're trying to do is just present what we do, why we do what we do from a pretty general standpoint, what your kids are going to see coming to this next year, okay? No questions yet? Good. So we are home of the Trailblazers. That is our new logo there in the top right corner. We do have a couple of different logos we use. You'll have an opportunity, if you go to the gym tonight, to purchase some spiritware and do some things like that. Currently, we are around 1,050, 1,080 for next year. Those numbers fluctuate throughout the summer. And divided into 3 different grade levels, 6th, 7th, and 8th, that means around 350 or so, give or take a few for each grade level, and that's what we're expecting next year. We do have a wide range of socioeconomic levels. We are currently at about 33% for reduced lunch, for whatever that is. We do believe in the team concept here, and a true middle school concept. That team concept is that we keep students in one of 3 teams, primarily, within 6th grade. So when your son or daughter come here, they will be moving within the same 4 teachers that communicate, talk, work together, and really try to develop relationships with the kids. We do have currently 3 teams within the 6th grade. Those teams are not necessarily, there's not one high team, one low team, or anything like that. It really is a mixture of students within each team. So you will hear all kinds of rumors about that, and they're not true. Trust me, they're not true. But it is, you know, a good mix of students within each team. We do have intervention and enrichment that go on each day. One of the first things they'll do when they come here is actually go to their Blazer Time class. That's what we call that. That first Blazer Time class, it's about 50 minutes, and it counts kind of as homeroom as well, but we do try to meet the students' needs, specifically in reading and math, if there's a need there. There is also possibility for enrichments for those students that show that they can do something, that they're strong in reading and math, and they might want to go somewhere else and do something else. We also are implementing Spanish program, Spanish language program next year during that time, utilizing Rosetta Stone amongst other various teaching methods to try to work on getting our students to be possibly bilingual, hopefully by the time they leave, if they leave Cooper or if they leave Boone. That's the goal. All right. Let's see if this still works. No questions yet? Taking you through our programs, we do have unified arts classes. We have quite a few offerings, and I will tell you, I can say this is my first year, these are fantastic programs. We have a lot of wonderful things going on here, but let me turn it over to you, because you wanted to come in. And this is Angela Warwick, I apologize, and she's going to talk to you about the services she can provide, and then we'll continue down this road.
Okay. I'm Mrs. Warwick, so I just wanted to come in and introduce myself. What I do here is I am the coordinator of our youth service center. So I'm a part of the Family Resource Youth Service Centers. And so I'm not for sure if you guys are familiar with that. The feeder schools that have them are Burlington and Kelly Elementary. So if you came from those schools, you might have heard of what a Family Resource Center is and, you know, kind of know a little bit about what they do. But I just wanted to introduce myself and let you guys know that I'm here mainly just as a resource for all of our families and our students here at Camp Ernst. So So my grant is based on the number of our free and reduced lunch students, but I also help all of our population. It's not just the free and reduced lunch. So in my center, I have basic needs, on-hand food, clothing, school supplies. We do a Christmas program, holiday help program. We do weekend food bags for families in need. So a lot of just resources for our families in need, but then I also am a resource for anybody, really. If you need to know any community resources and things like that, I'm the person to call. We also do mentoring group for incoming 6th grade girls. Our 8th grade girls mentor the 6th grade girls, and we call it the Golden Girls Club. It's a really good program. And they laugh every time I say the Golden Girls. The girls picked that because, you know, we're blue and gold, so not because they know what the Golden Girls are.
Which is where we are.
So, and then also another big program that you guys will probably be interested in is our Camp Trailblazer, which is our transition program for our incoming 6th grade students and also any new students that come into the school. It's August 3rd. There was a flyer in your kids' folders today and this week. And there's also in the gym, there's some flyers in there for the registration. It's free. It's just a great day where they can come in and learn the ropes, meet all the other kids that are coming in from all the feeder schools. There's sessions, they get to do scavenger hunts, locker races. It's just a really fun day for them. They get a free t-shirt, because our PTSO is awesome and provides that for them. And all they have to do is just bring a lunch. So it's just a really good day, you know, for them to come in before school starts and just kind of get more used to, you know, this building, the people that they're going to be with, and all that kind of stuff. So it's just a great day. So again, I just wanted to introduce myself. Does anybody have any questions or anything about Family Resource or Youth Service Center?
And she is a fantastic resource, so if you do have questions, please feel free to seek her out.
Yes. And then just a quick note to what Ms. Haggerty said. She made a comment that the dance team tryouts changed. That did not. It was the cheerleading. So if you have students that, So if you have students that want to try out for cheerleading, make sure you get a new flyer because the dates did change on that. And I'm
pick up a dance flyer too if you want.
Yeah, because I'm the dance coach and I'm awesome. Yeah. So, all right, nice to meet everybody. Thanks.
So I was talking about our wonderful Unified Arts programs. Just out of curiosity, how many of you have been in our building before? Okay. How many of you have had children go through our building before? Okay. So it's a handful, pretty much the same crowd essentially. So it's always good to see. I was surprised. We've had the kids come in the last 3 days from each of the schools that feed into us. And I'm always surprised at how many siblings we have had through the building and kids coming up. So it's very nice to see that there's some familiarity with what we do. Unified Arts programs, we can talk about the core. We'll talk about that in a second, but we do have some fantastic programs. There are some choices to make here as well. And I'll talk about that briefly in a moment. But these are generally the ones that we offer. We do have an art program. You see some of the murals in the hallway. Some of that is created through there. Drama program. We do have a drama program. We have 2 plays a year that we produce, and the kids do a great job. We actually use Cooper's auditorium for that. Health, creative writing, careers, where we explore different careers. Spanish, we have a wonderful Spanish program here, as I mentioned before. Technology, a lot of great things. All of these programs are wonderful. And so we have opportunities for your students to go through most of these every year, the way it works out with their schedule. We do also have 2 specific Unified Arts programs that your child will elect to be in. If they do not elect this, they will not be in them. But there are choices for them for band and chorus. We are in the choral room at the moment. Next door is the band room. And they do not necessarily have to have any previous experience as 6th graders going into those programs. But again, just fantastic opportunity for your kids to really devote devote themselves to something that's really a great effort. I would encourage, if they're not in band or chorus, that they go and try out for a sports team or play intramural sports, but getting involved some way outside of just the normal school day for them to tie themselves to our community is a huge, huge piece of what makes our kids successful. These two programs do that very well. Obviously, there are other opportunities as well. These two you would sign up for, and it would be an all-year program where all the other Unified Arts classes, generally speaking, are each quarter. And then they would switch. So they would not have them all. But these two would. Our core content classes that we refer to, we do have English Language Arts, ELA, English, that's what we used to call it. Math, science, and social studies are essentially what you would think they would be. They spend, obviously, a majority of their days on each subject there is. And they are equally dispersed within each team. Switching gears a little bit, we do have a PBIS system. If you're familiar with Boone County Schools, you're familiar with probably some PBIS system. Our acronym that we use here is STAR, which stands for Safe, Tolerant, Accountable, and Respectful. We teach the students what those behaviors are, what our expectations are. You will see throughout our building some posters in regard to that, and then you might see also some expectations geared toward those. We do have a system where we do award students who demonstrate these qualities with tickets, with STAR tickets. And on a weekly basis, we choose randomly some of these STAR tickets, and students get rewarded through other means, whether it be a shorts pass for a day, because we don't allow shorts normally, or some sort of reward treat, something like that. That's a weekly basis, and then we do recognize a STAR Student of the Month every month. And so those are big rewards for us. We do have a special STAR event in December. We have another event coming up that's kind of tied to PBIS at the end of the year as well. So we try to promote this and do the right thing, so hopefully your kid will come home saying, hey, I got a STAR ticket. We do want them to know those things, and we might quiz you at the end of this. You want to go? STAR? Who's got it? not it. I'll flash it back. Safe, tolerant, accountable, respectful. And we'll go over that again, obviously. So we have a list of common questions that we typically get from here on out, so I'll just go through them. If you have questions as these come up, obviously because we'll fly through them, you can ask. Hopefully I'm not going too fast for you. Important information: when do you pick up your child's schedule and figure out which team he's on or she is on? August 11th right now is what we have as our scheduled pickup date. At that appointment, you actually pay your school fees, which are $60, unless you are reduced, and that would be $20. Purchase school supplies, that's available through us, potentially. Walk through the building, find classrooms, go through the schedule with your children, and then obtaining bus information on that date as well. So you get everything, one-stop shop, August 11th, if you want to mark it. Our school day begins at 7:35. That is quite the adjustment for kids. And I watched them this morning come in off the buses and out of the cars, and they were extremely tired this morning. And by lunchtime, they were as loud as I've ever heard them today. So I don't know what's going on, but that is early, obviously, and buses sometimes get there before 7 for some kids at the stops. So that's a major adjustment that certainly I ask you to work through with your children toward the end of summer. They are dismissed to go to the buses at 2:25, another major adjustment, probably more for you than anybody else. And we usually get the buses out of here by 2:30, which means they'll be coming home shortly thereafter. We obviously have drop-off lines and pick-up lines. I will tell you the biggest issue that I see coming in is we do get a lot of traffic. It says 7:15 here. Really, it starts to build at about 7:25. So if you are dropping off your child, if it's after 7:25 that you get here, it's going to be tough for them to get back to their class on time. So there might be some tardy situations like that. So if you are going to drop off, please try to get them here before 7:25. If you want to avoid the traffic, we open our doors at 7 o'clock. And that is a really good time to get in and out if you need to do that. Obviously, that would be a little bit of motivation to get the kid out of that too. We do have afternoon pickup as well, but that's also a situation where you would have to line up and do get over traffic. We do have a dress code. You all are coming from different places. There are a lot of dress codes out there in Boone County. The biggest issues probably that are different, we do not allow shorts. Normally we do have special days for shorts, but no shorts. We also do not allow yoga pants. That was a big disappointment to the kids coming in the last couple of days. So those are probably two of the major adjustments depending on where you're coming from. The school dress code is on our website. And so it'll also be in the student agenda book the students get, and it'll be explained, obviously, when they come in as well. Perfect. Thank you. You get to sit with me for a while. Okay. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Have a seat. Will your child have a book to take home? Generally speaking, with English and math, that will be the case. It will usually be a workbook of some sort. With science and social studies, we do have class sets of books. I don't know if you've noticed, we are transitioning as a district quite dramatically from the old paper, pencil, textbook, all those types of things, to we do have a one-to-one situation here with Chromebooks. If you're not familiar with one-to-one initiatives, we do have computers for every student here. Those are not necessarily high power computers, but those are our Chromebooks, which are basically internet related. But they allow you to do most of the same things that a computer would, at least in our school. So that, as we learn to utilize that, will probably push out some of the traditional textbooks that we're used to seeing, because that information is there. We still use traditional textbooks, there's no doubt. For science and social studies, typically most of our teachers allow their students to check them out when they need to bring them home. So that's something you want to make sure you communicate with teachers about if it becomes an issue. Student fees are, we have a $60 general registration fee. That's $20 for reduced population. We do have additional rental fees for the band program, things of that sort, or anything that needs to be rented. Fees, I'll let you read it. Well, I'll probably read it because it's probably quite small, but you have really good essay. Fees are necessary for schools' operating budgets to purchase classroom materials, instructional supplies, and resources to support learning in the classroom. So that's generally why we need those fees. So transitioning into what the students' day looks like. Do the students stay with the same kids all day long? That is not necessarily the case. Even though they're on the same team, there are sort of 4 classrooms happening during that same time. And they do mix throughout the day, so you're not going to go with this class to the next one, necessarily. So we try to do that. I think that's good for everybody involved, to be quite honest, but they will not be with the same group of students unless there's just a flukish situation with particular student schedules. All 6th grade families are mixed for UA, so we have the 350 or so 6th grade students. They will be mixed with everybody else in the 6th grade for their unified arts classes. So they will get out of those families for that class period. Same thing will happen during Blazer as well. And there are situations where we do have some crossover between 6th, 7th, and 8th grade students during Blazer, but those are very specialized cases where either it's an enrichment that, you know, it's just a mixture, or it's a chorus group that mixes, or something like that. But typically, students will remain in their grade level almost all day long without seeing the 7th, 8th grade. Did you guys notice the building when you came in? We have 3 fingers that come off the end. We have a 6th grade hallway that's in yellow. That's the one furthest away from where we are currently, which makes the least amount of sense to you. But if you're going to tour, you're going to get your steps in today. That'll be all the way down the other end of the building. We have the green hallway is the 7th grade hallway, and the 8th grade hallway is here in blue, up close to us. And they typically stay within their hallways. The only time they would actually move out of their hallways is to go to their unified arts classes. There's a little bit of crossover with the next grade level during lunch, but it's very small amount of time. And guess what? They don't sit with each other, typically. 6th graders, 7th graders don't mingle much. And then, of course, the buses that will be on us. We do have a little bit of free time. I guess the question, is there a recess? We do have some free time. It's whether or not the students choose to go there. During lunch, they get 30 minutes. At the last half of lunch, the last 15 minutes, they are able, if they so choose, to go to the library or go to either the gym if it's not nice outside, or outside here. We do have a nice little area out here for them to run around and get some energy out. We weren't able to, but they were in the gym. And we have basketball, we have volleyball, we have things for them to do outside. Almost every student takes us up on that. Some of them stay and eat lunch and take their time. Lunch. Lunch costs $2.25. Breakfast is also served in the morning, and it costs $1. You would deposit all that money online. If you've done that at your school before, you probably recognize that. This is the crazy, like, I got here. This year was my first year. I would ask all the 6th graders, what's your favorite thing about Camp Briscoe? And they always said to me, the food. The food. So I hope they love the food as much as this year's 6th grade group love the food. But I think the big issue is they get to choose where they go. There's not just one line necessarily. They actually have 3 lines they can go through. In those 3 lines, there's a taco line. There's, tell me, you probably know better than I. What do we always have? Do you know? Do you eat lunch here?
Yeah, I passed.
Well, I passed the wrong person. But we do have one of the lines rotates through. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot over there. If you have an answer to another question, let me know. I'll send it your way. But we do have one line that rotates through the meals that they serve, sort of a regular lunch line. Breakfast, you can see there, cereal, breakfast bars, milk and juice. We do have a lot of people who eat breakfast in the morning. When they arrive here, if it's before 7:25, they have to go to one of 2 locations where we have supervision for them before all our teachers get here. And that would either be in the cafeteria or in the gym. Will my child be lost on the first day? So it's so funny, the last couple of days, you guys came in, right? Were you a little nervous coming to the middle school? Yeah, it gets a little nerve-wracking at times. Thanks for answering my question. I'm calling you out. So, yes, they do get nervous. They do get lost. We have, obviously, our teams are very good with them the first couple of days. They're not going to get 4 tardy slips the first day and have a detention and be in my office. None of that. Now, week 3, we might have some issues. But typically, yes, we'll have some of that. There isn't much that they can go. They don't stray too far. But there is a lot of nerve-wracking. You can see the adjustment is tough for some of them. So obviously, as parents, as families, you can try to address that as much as you can. And that's where, if you come into the building for that scheduled pickup, and they come to Camp Trailblazer in the summer, that's August 3rd, scheduled pickup is August 11th. They attend one or both of those events, that'll help them out a lot to understand where to go, just to walk through the schedule, find their locker, make sure they can do and open their locker. Those types of things will help tremendously. I'm just going to put this down. I'm not even referencing it. All my notes. And they do, our teachers are very good. They'll take them through and they'll tour the building that first day, make sure everybody knows where they need to go. If they lose or forget their schedule or haven't picked it up yet, we do have ways that they will get it. Homeroom lists will be on the front windows of the library, typically is where we put them, and then they'll know where their homeroom is, and once they get there, they'll get a copy of their schedule. You can also print a schedule in the parent portal. How many of you have a parent portal account right now? Great, fantastic. Keep it. Stay on. Students are supervised and safe. The answer to that question hopefully would be yes, and yes, we do. We have a lot of supervision in the hallways, in the gym, in the cafeteria. All those places are supervised very well. Teams do change classes at different times, so there are 3 teams in the 6th grade hallway. They actually have slight differences in their schedules so that we don't have all the 6th graders out in the hallway typically. And they are out there as well, making sure that no shenanigans are going on in the hallways. We have video cameras in the building.
The bell won't sound, everybody.
What's that?
The bell don't sound and everybody goes.
There are no bell. It is the craziest thing. So we start at 7:35. You hear a bell, right? You can back me up on this one. 7:35, and then what's the last time we hear a bell?
2:15.
2:20. Yeah, 2:15 for announcements, right? Or 2:20. Yeah, I can't remember. But at the end of the day, so there won't be a bell in that time because people are switching at different times throughout the day. 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade switch independently of each other as well. It is a crazy schedule. We make it work. Students always seem to know where they're going. But we do have a lot of support for that for 6th grade. We certainly welcome any parents to the building. Obviously, try to arrange that with us. You definitely have to. If you ever enter the building, please go through the front doors. If you guys came through the front doors, the main office is to the right of where you came in. That would be the door that would be open. It's the only door that's unlocked in the building during the school day. And you do sign in and all that stuff. Do I need to buy a lock for my child's locker? No. As a matter of fact, we don't want you to. We have locks that we will provide free of charge, unless they move. I don't know why we've had a number of people that don't put their lock on their locker. That causes all kinds of problems, as you can imagine. One, the lock can be lost. Number two, there's stuff in their locker that can be lost as well. So we've had a lot of little issues with that. So certainly we will encourage and check those frequently to make sure locks are unlocked. Right now, the current cost to replace a lock is $6. I strongly encourage you to have chores assigned to your child that they use their lock, so you can pay for that themselves. Are there advanced curriculum opportunities? We do have quite a bit of differentiation that goes on here. I mentioned the Blazer time. We do have differentiated activities going on during that first time of the day, either reading or math or a different area, which could be an enrichment area. We do have a math program where we do sort of accelerate some of our students through a curriculum so that they can have an opportunity to take Algebra 1 as a high school credit before they leave here. We do have a handful, and I do mean a handful of students who have even gone beyond that. We try to differentiate those needs as they arise within our building. We are currently looking into even more classes to offer that count as high school credits. You guys, if you don't have any high schoolers, you probably won't know this. High school becomes a credit crunch. And it becomes, how do I fit all of these things I want to do within a schedule? So I see a couple of people. Are you a high school student?
Yeah.
Would you like to say anything about that, or just verify that it is a stress? It is. It is really hard to fit in everything you want to do, right?
It took 3 times trying to get this going right.
Ooh. So these are the things that we as a middle school are obviously working with our cluster, we call it, with our high schools to try to alleviate some of that. So we do, this year coming up, we will have 3 courses, obviously not all of them, none of them offered to 6th graders, but we do have 3 high school credit courses that we are offering. Spanish 1, Digital Literacy, which is a CTE course, which is Microsoft Office suite, those types of things, learning to use the computer for word processing, Excel, those types of things. And then, obviously, algebra. So good opportunities. We're hoping that we can get those 2 increased by the time we have 8. How do we communicate with parents? Well, we have a plethora of ways that we communicate with parents. We do have a school website. Please become familiar with that. That's a great place to go. And we will have these as well. We have some information to share with you later if you want to try to scribble all these down. We do have Facebook link on our website. We have Twitter handle @CEMSBlazers. Progress reports. That's one way we communicate grades. Progress reports come out in the middle of each term or 4 times a year after 4.5 weeks of each term. Parent portal obviously is something I strongly encourage. If you're not familiar with that, you can check grades, attendance schedules, report cards, anything you like at any point in time. That is a nightmare for some of our kids, but it is a wonderful thing for our parents. We have a weekly memo that's emailed out if you supply us with your email list. We do have an automated phone system. Agenda books are something that we can use to communicate, especially teachers if they need to communicate with you on a regular basis. And then please, please, please contact teachers if you have any issues, and make sure you make that contact very early on. But if we do have discipline issues, there will be paperwork sent home for discipline issues. I never have to do that. A couple of key points on here that are actually very important so that we don't have any truancy situations with attendance those types of things. Every time there is an absence, please send a note. I will tell you it's a little bit more on the students here than it is on the parents. In particular, students are expected to turn in those notes to their home or to the office as they come in the building. You will want to check that. That's one of the reasons why parent portal is so important, because sometimes those notes that you write are not necessarily sent up to the front office. We never receive them, and therefore it's an unexcused absence. So we don't want that to happen. So please, that's something to work on with your students. We do have in the student agenda book that your children will get. All those attendance policies and procedures are spelled out. If tardy to school, this is a big one because we have a lot of parents that have issues with this. Remember, what time did I say to be here by? Let's quiz the parents on this. 7 o'clock. If you're dropping off your kids, 7 o'clock, I heard that was a great answer. Great answer.
Good one.
7:25, probably no later than that. You'll be in a little traffic at 7:25, but anything later than that, you might get stuck. If your child is tardy and comes through the doors without a parent, we can't actually excuse that. So that's a big one. If you know that your child is going to be late or they're pushing it, please park, come in, and sign in your kid so that way they are excused for their tardiness, at least up until a certain point. And we obviously believe very strongly in attendance being success, being very linked to success. If you are picking up for an early dismissal, a note along with your kid obviously would be very helpful. It's a lot of information. Are you overwhelmed yet? I'm going through it slowly.